Coach, congratulations on, again, we were just talking to you actually between innings about how you kind of follow the draft for a number of reasons. Tell us about what your week has been like.
Well, it's crazy, you know. I mean, first it started off with the regional, and we ended up, you know, unfortunately losing in the regional final on Sunday, and then on Monday we had the big day with Gerrit, certainly with the Pirates, and then Trevor with the Diamondbacks.
Coach John Savage joining us, the coach of the UCLA Bruins, as Tabata leads off with the Pirates leading 2-1. And a fly ball hit deep to right center. Upton racing back, and he makes a fine running grab, banging up against the wall in right center. Tabata gave it a ride. So one down.
Coach, I'd like to find out about the control. You know, we know there's a big arm that he can throw up to 100 miles an hour. What about the control, not just of that fastball, but of his slider and his changeup? Is he able to throw those pitches for strikes?
You know, he can. I mean, the guy was a big power arm coming out of high school. He was a first-round pick of the Yankees, and I think over the last 3 years, he's really progressed. He can pitch on both sides of the plate. You know, his strength is really his arm side. He can get the ball in on right-handers, away from left-handers. And, you know, there's been so many left-handed hitting lineups against him. So he's really, I think, progressed as a guy that can throw against left-handers as well. And it's a power change. It's a swing and miss change. It's a firm change. It's almost 88. It's a power change. And then I think the slider is a plus pitch as well. I mean, it's a 88 to 91 mile per hour pitch. That's a swing and miss pitch. And I think he's got 3 pitches. I mean, he should, and he's able to hold his velocity throughout the game. And you'll see 95, 97. In the 7th, 8th innings. He's a workhorse.
Coach, there are some who wondered as Josh Harrison hits a fly ball to the warning track in right for the second out. Some who wondered about the numbers dropping off a little bit. Can you give us your thoughts on that?
Well, they did. I mean, the biggest thing really was our own run support. We just did not help him when he pitched. I mean, we averaged less than 3 runs a game when he pitched for whatever reason. And we averaged quite a few when Trevor pitched. But, it was the beginning of the weekend. It's a Friday night. Is when the first game of a 3-game series starts in college. And, Gerrit was our Friday night guy for 3 years. And, the strikeouts were high. The walks were low. The hits, he was in the middle of the plate midway through the year, I think a little too much. And his hits did go up a little bit. He was a guy that averaged 5 to 6 hits per 9 for most of his career. And, it was just a confidence issue. The stuff never dropped off. It was just more really in the middle of the plate that caused the hits to go up. But, the wins-loss are certainly deceiving. He won a bunch of games last year for our trip to Omaha last year, and everybody saw him in the country. And he's been with Team USA. And, you're talking about a guy that I wouldn't be too alarmed about those.
With a high draft pick, I think one of the questions everybody wonders about is makeup. How did he handle being the guy that was unlucky, not getting a lot of run support?
Let me just interrupt there, Coach. We may interrupt you right in the middle of this thing because we got 2 outs, but just go ahead.
Well, it's a great question. He felt a little pressure. I mean, he felt that there was a little, a burden on his back. I think a little X on his back in regards to the draft and whenever you're a first runner that goes to college, everybody hunts you down and. He handled very well. I think the biggest progression he's made is his makeup. I mean, the workload between starts, his bullpen work, his conditioning, his just off-field habits. I mean, the guy is just way much more mature, and I think you got a pretty complete package, a guy that's pretty close to the major leagues and that can handle. Another big thing is he only gave up 2 stolen bases all year in the Pac-10. I mean, he can hold runners, and a lot of power pitchers, you don't see that often, and he's pretty good off the mound, and the guy is much more complete mentally than he was 3 years ago, and I think that certainly, because physically he's always had the physicalness to him. Anybody can see that, but I think the mental makeup really has made major strides.
Is he he's a pretty confident guy, it sounds like to me. And that,
Yeah.
I guess that's always important, too, especially at this level.
Yeah, he's confident. I mean, he's confident. You know, he pitched against Cuba, he pitched against Japan, he pitched in the World Series against TCU, and you know, he pitched against Arizona State and Stanford, and you name it out here, Fullertons and the USCs, and you know, so the guy is competitive, and he is confident, and he has a right to be, but he also knows how to take a jab too. You know, I mean, I think you'll be able to see him bounce back from
Coach,
things. I think he's pretty well schooled.